Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Disruptive Education Movement live session with GETI or Global Education and Training Institute. I'm your host, Preena, and today I am back with another eminent speaker with me. So, today we have with us Miss Kashmira Jaiswal, ma'am. She is the principal, vice principal at Navrachna School, Sama at Vadodara. She is the recipient of the India Inspirational Women Award and Federal Assistant Award for the Project Upskill to Upcycle in 2019. She received. Then Global Leadership in Education Award. She also received this award in 2016 and from the Education Council of India and the Pearson Teaching Award in 2013. She has been the master trainer for ASL for the CBSE and conducts training programs for senior secondary school English teachers of the community. And being a drama enthusiast, she writes and directs children's theatre and has many successful concerts in her life. She is a skill development trainer for communication skills, personality development, soft skills, leadership skills, drama, and much, much more. We are very happy to have you, ma'am, on this platform. And today she is with us to talk about and make our lives easier by sharing few tricks and tips of online teaching. We all know that online education is on the rise, and more people are using the internet to take the classes, whether it's in the college or general education classes. And we all know that teaching remotely is still relatively a new concept for all, and it takes time to adjust for those who have never done it before. So, for them, especially, Ms. Kashmira Jaiswal ma'am is here to share some tips. So, we welcome you, ma'am, on this platform of Getty, and we are very happy to have you. So, viewers are all yours. Over to you.
Thank you, Preena. I love the way you say Miss Kashmira Jaiswal, ma'am. So, thank you. It's an honor to be here, and it's a pleasure to meet you and be here on this session. Thank you so much. So, it's been 6 months into online teaching, and I'm sure by now all of us have become pretty pro, if I might say, with online teaching. So, I'm not here to it's like whatever I've learned and whatever I have understood about the platform and how to leverage and maximize the platform is what we are going to be doing here. And I'm glad to be here with the disruptive education movement. So, I have a little presentation? Shall we begin? So, here we go. Yes. So, are we ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. So this is just the fun part because tips and tricks, although they might not be any great tips and tricks for you, but let's just go, just humor me, go with the flow. So I am a big humor fan, and so this is something that caught my attention, and so I'm sharing it with you. So that this one, welcome back, students. It's like now we are already 6 months into it, and now we are planning to go back to school. So this one says, why can't we just go to school.org? Meaning we don't want to go to school yet. We are, we've become comfortable at home. And the other one says, you don't have to worry about my future anymore, and you should see the size of the baby who's sitting in front of the computer, who says, I've downloaded an entire college education here. So that's the scenario because he says, I've downloaded the entire college education. And so when the laptop is there in front of him, he doesn't need to go anywhere. That's what is happening also. Another scenario with students. And here are some real life conversations that are also going in. So the flip side, like I said, these are conversations that students are saying, at home I feel like it's very hard to be prepared because I'm always getting distracted. And there's somebody who says, I feel that online learning is nothing compared to physical learning. Somebody says, what I don't like about it is that I'm on a screen all day. And then somebody says, without a routine schedule, I felt lost. So these are real thoughts and real conversations by students. So you see both the sides. I just presented both the sides. There are students who got very comfortable with the online platform. There are students who are really missing physical school interactions with their teachers, their peers, and the rigor, the discipline, and they are missing it. And so that is on the part of students, and this is what the real life is asking them to be. It's asking them to go to the market. They are going to be into the career market, and this is what the career world is asking them, pulling them from all directions. And so this is where we come in the picture, we educators, because the millennial youth needs guidance to navigate through the maze of an uncertain future with unknown career perspectives while still holding on to core human values. So, this is what we are going to help them navigate through their unknown future, to navigate this with core human values. So, in today's setting, we will also discuss about this, and so our job is important. So yay, yahoo for teachers. And so just a little bit more of dwelling on the strengths of online learning and the weaknesses. And so once we have a clear picture, because everyone is not going to come up and say, wow, I'm all in for online learning, because we are missing the physical school, right? But there are pros and cons. So let's weigh them out so that then we can maximize the pros. So what are the strengths of online learning? So it's an anywhere anytime learning. We can see us teaching through laptops, through phones as well, when we don't have devices. It's anytime, any pace. We can there are students who are meeting in the evenings also, and we are conducting classes, although school is regular, but it can be anytime, any pace. Then there's a synergy, a dynamic interaction between students and the teacher, because it's just getting across to the student on the screen. And there's a high quality dialogue, because one on one they share their problems, and the meeting chat goes on, and they can find out solutions. It's pretty student centered, and it's a level playing field, because learners have a certain measure of anonymity. When I play Kahoot with them, I allow them to fill in their own names, and so they are very free, because they don't know, they think I would know who's responding wrong answer. So they're pretty uh, good about the anonymity. The access to resources is plenty, and one can do a lot of creativity with teaching. So those are the pros, but there are some weaknesses also. So what is the weakness? Like technology, equity, accessibility. How many people have devices that are given to them? How many people are sharing devices at home? And so is everybody having a Wi-Fi, a strong broadband, those kind of equity issues. Then computer literacy. There are many students who need to be brought up to a level, faculty that needs to be brought up to a level. And there are limitations of technology. You may suddenly have whoop, and the Wi-Fi is gone. And so technology is neither seamless nor reliable, because we can always lose it. And there's greater responsibility on the student, because the student needs to be organized, motivated, should have time management skills. Otherwise, it's going to be tearing away his head, like our little student is doing in the picture. Then the facilitators, like I said, they need to have the essential qualities. The admin at times, if it is the admin is uncomfortable with the change in some schools, one needs to procure enough of devices, and upgrade the teachers. And the level of synergy in large classrooms, it drops down. And the curriculum, how to handle the curriculum. So these are the weaknesses of online learning. Now we've sort of seen the two sides, and so where are we in the picture then? Here we are. It's the many hats that the teacher wears. She's got to be everything. right? We've often seen this picture, but it just catches my attention. So we mediate, we plan, we are entrepreneurial, we are the motivators. So what do we do? In this session, the objectives of this session would be to understand, how to, what are the core competencies, how to develop those 21st century skills, what is the changing role of teachers, how to maximize online teaching now that we are going about to reopen school wala phase, and so what is blended, what is flipped, and the very solid importance of social emotional skills. So, our job is not to prepare students for something. Our job is to help students prepare themselves for anything. ये तैयारी हमें रखनी है. यही तैयारी हम तब रखते थे when we were teaching physically in schools. यही तैयारी हमें अब रखनी है when we are teaching online. So, uh, I'll get things in perspective as to why 21st century and why is it so close to my heart. Because if we look at the references, the national education policy, सबसे अच्छा chapter जो मुझे लगता है, which is innovative pedagogy, because it talks about experiential learning, it talks about integrated pedagogy with art, sports, ICT, talks about peer tutoring under the supervision of teachers, joyful learning, talks about equal weightage and variety of subjects can be chosen. It talks of bagless days to be scheduled in the academic calendar, and it talks of integration of the technology enabled pedagogy. So, innovation. So, let's hold on to that word, innovation. And so again, like I said, 21st century skills and learning. It has. I have been studying about it for a couple of years by now. So broadly, if we want to define, it's a broad set of knowledge, skills, work habits, character traits that are critically important to success in today's world, and they are transferable. That can be skills that can be applied in all subject areas and in all educational and career settings throughout a student's life. So these are core life skills that we need to impart to them. And so, what are these competencies? So, these competencies are broadly divided into three categories. So, one of them is civic literacy, global awareness, cross cultural skills. The other one is critical thinking, inventive thinking, and the other competency is information and communication skills. So, management of information, use of information, communication, and civic literacy about global awareness and national identity. And these are the core 21st century competencies that we are expected to be enabling our children with. And national education policy is very pro competency. So this is what we are talking about when we refer to the word competencies. And so skills. So to obtain these competencies, what are the skills that we have to develop in our students? So broadly, they are divided into three: the learning skills, the literacy skills, and the life skills. Now, the learning skills are the four C's: critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, communication. The literacy skills are the information literacy, media literacy, technology literacy. And the life skills is also mentioned, referred to as flips, which is flexibility and adaptability, leadership and responsibility, initiative and self direction, social and cross cultural interaction. So, flips. So, this is like a roadmap. So, if we remember learning skills, literacy skills, and flips, those are the three things we need to remember: learning skills, literacy skills, flips. And so, we have our roadmap. And for it has made easier again for us by the national education policy also, when they have explained it very clear as to what is also for your core subjects. You have your languages, your art, mathematics, government, history, civics, everything. Then 21st century themes are global awareness, financial, economic, business, entrepreneurial literacy, civic literacy, health literacy, and environmental literacy. And then your life and career skills, learning, and INT. So, this is how they have actually made it very easy for us to understand, okay, this is the direction I'm going into. The bottommost direction with the core subjects is always handled with the curriculum. The other things we integrate with our teaching. And so how do we do that? Before we go on to how, this is what I have to, like a little breather for us to breathe. So this child is saying my virtual pet ate my online report. So virtual pet. And the other one is saying, rather than learning how to solve that, shouldn't we be learning how to operate software that can solve? तो आजकल आप लोग देख रहे होंगे ना कोडिंग के कितने सारे ads आते हैं, right? 4-year-olds and they are preparing such an app that people are, dying to buy that app. This is that kind of a thinking. So why can't I just make a software that will, solve everything and life will become so easy? So, what are the so like we understood what are the 21st century skills and competencies, and where does it put us on the road to follow that roadmap? So, as an educator, I've got a little, I've got a crown to wear and responsibility to shoulder. So, what is it? I need to be a risk taker. I need to be a collaborator. I need to be the model where children can look up to, the leader, the visionary. Teachers are all that. They've always been the best of the communicators. They've always been the best of the learners and the adapters. Haven't we adapted to this new system of education so pretty quickly? Like, people call the medical staff corona warriors, and the police staff corona warriors. It's the teachers also who have adapted so pretty quickly. So these are the skills that I believe teachers are endowed with, and they need to be honing it if they don't. So another area of passion is innovation, because if we are not innovative ourselves, however great platforms we are provided, however great teaching programs we are provided with, only the teaching programs cannot help prospective teachers for all of the challenges that they may come to them while on the job. Being innovative is a must skill for becoming an ideal teacher. So this is for us who are in service teachers, those who are prospective teachers. So innovation is the key word. And how? So in the current times, yes, technology. Technology is not going to replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers can be transformational. And so, how does it help us? The way forward now, up till now, we've been teachers across the world, I must say, not only India, but the world have gotten to doing their business teaching. Some are teaching through WhatsApp, some are teaching through television, some are sending videos, some are using Zoom. So everybody has gotten on to their job. Now is the time we can start thinking, and we've got grips on that subject. Now is the time we start thinking, what's the way forward if and when the schools reopen? How do we go about it? Because we have got to get 50% children, 30% children, the younger ones are not coming. So how are we going that? So just a little bit about the way forward. And I feel blended learning is the best way to adapt to the two instructional pedagogies, online and face to face. So if you're calling them alternate days, there is one day they are studying at home, and there is one day that they are coming face to face in school. And so we blend our learning. And how do we go about the blending? So it's the same teacher, but she's used that blender and she's used all the tools together. You can see that, she's got a blender and she's blended everything, her phone, her laptop, her music system, her iPad and everything. So, yes. Flipped classroom, just a very infographic that explains. They prepare how to participate in the class before the class. When they are called to the school, they discuss, they solve their issues, they engage, and they go back home and they submit their assignment. So the in-class time, which will become very, very precious now. It will become very precious now when they come to school. And so that in-class time is absolutely and holistically employed for interactive and engaging activities. And so once again, another infographic to explain, like so you can see these three kids sitting facing the board, and the other three kids on the flipped classroom, they are engaged, they are smiling, they are talking, they are discussing, they are solving a problem. So that is how flipped helps us. They watch something from home, they read something from home, and when they come, they are engaged into solving that problem. And instead, in the traditional, the teacher explains everything, bell rings, they go home, next day they come, they learn. Now we have paucity of time. They read, they watch the video, they do everything at home. When they have come, they are solving the problems, they are analyzing the situations. So why do you want to flip? You want to flip because you want student engagement. You want them to practice skills when you are around to help them. And you want them to concentrate on the higher order thinking skills. You want to give them personal instruction, individualized instruction. And you want to emphasize on teamwork, which is a soft skill. And I believe very strongly that teachers in their classroom can actually, get students to learn the importance of soft skills. So how do we shift content? So we shift content by sending them video lectures, or provided by publishers or by teachers, or we send them guided reading, the textbook, or we give them handouts, or we ask them for do a quiz and come, and or we design our individual activities. That's how we shift content for home reading and home viewing. And so how do we analyze what content to use where? So if you want what do you want your students to know? If you want them to know something, then you can send them articles, videos, demonstrations. What do you want them to be able to do? And that is done in class, like discussions, like brainstorming, like hands-on sessions in the class. And what do you want them to demonstrate? Again, they can demonstrate it through an online test or a Kahoot quiz. Also, they can demonstrate the formative. We can assess them in the formative way. So analyze what you want them to know or do or demonstrate, and then you can decide how am I going to plan. And so the right blend in learning face-to-face interactions can include illustrating and explaining a tough concept, breaking into groups for side discussions and one-on-one coaching or feedback. And digital experiences can have written material, videos, interactive scenarios, demonstrations, online discussions, peer reviews, all that can happen digitally. So for us to decide what to place in which slot, and you can consider from a wide spectrum of stuff. Most of us use role plays, case studies, games. Nowadays, there are a lot of online games as well. When they were in classes, we played board games with them. So debates and reflections, simulations. So many students simulate an entire topic as a teacher, and they teach the entire class a topic, which is simulating a class, which works very well for them. And so build on the strengths of each medium. So for example, if it's individual, then you can ask them to read, think, news. If it's one-on-one, you can coach, you can give the feedback. If it's a group, you ask them to co-create, you ask them to discuss. An online group, you ask them to capture ideas. You can fill up your wakelet wall, your padlet wall, or build up an opinion or a consensus through a poll, or track their progress through insight. So lots of things that you can do. And so you need to be very clear, what am I aiming at and what are we doing? And so the use of class time should be absolutely spent in higher order thinking activities, where you give them analytical practice exercises, you involve them in practicals, you involve them in discussions and case studies and debates and demonstrations, and the reading and the musing and the getting deep into research of the text and the content and the context, they can do at home and come prepared with it when they have come to class. So some of the pedagogical tools that for the teacher, it's like a bulletin board. You see everything on the bulletin board. And Microsoft Forms is for their formative assessments. Kahoot is again a quizzing platform. They love to do it because it's time bound and you've got to solve a quiz. And Teams is like a classroom because it's like an entire school. It's a safe platform, and Class Notebook for assignments. So these are some of the tools that can be used by, yeah, and there are many, not that I know of all, whatever I use and I know I have just shared with you. So that brings us to the teacher again, because that was the content and the way to deliver the content. And here's the teacher. So a good teacher, like a good entertainer, first must hold his audience's attention. Then he can teach his lessons. It's very important to be up and about, alert, ready to grab the attention. And so we come to teaching of social skills. So, teaching of social skills, yes, through games, but why is it so important? I'm going to dwell a little on social skills because unless we, that's the only drawback of online teaching, because most of us are not able to build that social, fill that social interaction lacuna. So we need to do that. So teaching our students to identify their emotions, how to manage them in healthy ways is very critical to their success, and that's the teacher who will come to their rescue. And so I just uh, have a very brilliant infographic that tells us how do we do. So we help them with self management, so managing their emotions. We help them with self awareness, like recognizing their strengths and challenges. We help them with responsible decision making. So we give them choices and they need to make their choices about personal and social behavior. We help them with their relationship skills, like forming positive relationships, like working in teams, and we also help them with their social awareness, showing sympathy for others, dealing with conflict management, and all this. We as teachers, whether we are in a physical class or an online class, we cannot remove this, what should I say, crown, no, we cannot get rid of this duty, this responsibility. We need to uh, do it with more diligence, I would rather say. So how do we, what are the kind of skills we're looking at? As accepting differences, asking for help, because now is the time when, some of them feel lost, that they don't have the competence or digital competence, or, they feel lonely. So communicating how they're feeling, complimenting others. If they need to disagree, how to politely disagree. If they need to, encourage others, develop that habit of encouraging, and resolving conflicts, very important. Staying on task, time management. Take turn to speak when you're on an online class. We're all not shouting together, we are taking turns, using quiet voices, waiting patiently. These are the social skills. We can always train them even on an online class. So those are the little tips and tricks that we need to, as teachers, be using. And so this gentleman says, why am I going to school if my phone already knows everything? That is the problem, because their phone has got Google Baba, Jai Ho Google Baba, and Google Baba knows everything. So he's saying, why am I going to school if my phone knows everything? And the second diagram of social skills, working together, is what a teacher should remember. That is why you're coming to school, because this is where you learn to be a social being. And so, a little warning, fair warning, I must say, the old theoretical model was like pouring knowledge, and the new theoretical model will also be like pouring knowledge, but through a device. This should not happen. So, that's we need to be very cautious about it. That whatever we are doing, we are not doing the same thing. We are engaging, we are getting them to be active learners rather than passive learners. And so this is the juice of entire workshop. So entire webinar is this diagram. So in this diagram, you would see social presence, cognitive presence, and teaching presence. So social presence is their engagement with each other, our engagement with students. Cognitive presence is their engagement with content, and teaching presence is our engagement, setting goals, giving them direction. And so for teachers, these are the three a presence that we have in their lives. And so, if we have a supporting discourse, like we engage well with the partners and we have a great content, so we have a supporting discourse. If we have great content and we have also, put it in a great lesson plan, giving it a great direction, then we are regulating their learning. And if we are engaged with our students and we have set a great plan, so we've set up a real good environment for them. And all this together, you see the center is the educational experience. This is so different than this, right? Pouring everything in, so different. So, and the antithesis of this is this, the whole diagram which shows the crux of the matter, the heart, the educational experience that the teacher can provide. And so we are navigating how to navigate that transformation. You see, अभी 6 हाथ की जगह 12 हाथ भी दिखा देंगे तो भी कम पड़ेंगे, 24 हाथ भी दिखा देंगे तो भी कम पड़ेंगे. And so how to navigate by better planning, and by being a whole lot of things, which I believe very strongly that all of us educators are. So I'll start from number one is commitment, preparation, organization, being tolerant, being a great storyteller, being very open to questions, uh, being innovative, being a technology enthusiast, being very social, and now, yes, now being a geek, because earlier many of us wouldn't be able to use applications, but now we are all learning, we are all getting on board, and we are all equipping ourselves with all this. So, if we teach today's students as we taught yesterday's, we rob them of tomorrow, is what John Dewey has said. And it is us teachers who make the difference. This is what I go by. This is my last slide. The juice of it all, the crux of it all is since we are here to make all the difference in their lives, let's gear ourselves up. Let's try and understand our way forward, and let's leverage the best of both worlds to make that difference. Yes, thank you all. Can I uh, can I end this here?
Yes, ma'am.
So what do? I unshare it, right? I go back. Stop screen. Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was a wonderful session, very informative. So many ideas, so many tricks and tips for the teachers. Although we all are, the teachers especially, are already struggling with those who are not very friendly with the technology. Still, I am sure this will definitely help many of us, many of the teachers who are not very friendly with the technology. And it was a very informative session and very nicely presented with your graphics used in the presentations. I liked the one with the many hats of the
Yeah.
teacher.
Yeah.
Absolutely
It even
true.
more
They are not
infographic.
right. All of them. They were amazing. I am totally amazed with the presentation. That was very informative. And we have few comments here. Uh, I'll just take you through the comment section. We have people who joined. I hope you can see the comments on your screen.
Yeah. Yes, I can.
So Suchitra ma'am, she was with us. Like the session, indeed, the session was very informative. Then we have Zenat ma'am, and I'll take you through. I don't think so. We have any questions because it was so clear and to the point that we don't have any questions for you. Very informative and excellent teacher material has been shared. Well done. Thank you so much, Bijoya Bakshi ma'am. And she even said that the moment you said that tech is not reliable, there was a little technical glitch, and she clearly mentioned here. So yes, thank you so much, everyone who was with us. And overall, fantastic session. The technology, as you said, that it cannot replace the teachers, but definitely it can be used for the transformation in education by the great teachers. So overall, it's a wonderful opportunity for all the teachers. You know, a potential flexibility is an undeniable benefit. It's growing, for the educators, it's growing. And we can even think and look like an exciting career development opportunity for them. We can take it in that way as well. You have that opportunity to reach students you would never or could never meet in a physical classroom, maybe if we talk about the schools, or if we talk about any other institute or college that is into this teaching. But it's not that easy as it looks. It's not that easy. It's very daring. And once you are planned, and after your lot of research work, I think one can see oneself on the forefront of the online educational movement, online education platform. So I would request all my viewers to go through this video, and you can use these tricks and tips for your benefit. And for that, a very big thanks to Kashmira ma'am. We are very happy to have you on this platform. A big thanks on behalf of Team GETI ma'am.
Thank you
So
so
would you,
much, Rina. You've been a wonderful host.
all thanks to you ma'am for all the cooperation and being so humble and amazing human being. And thank you so much for motivating us and sharing such information with all of us. And thanks to everybody, all my viewers. Share this video as much as you can with all your colleagues and friends so that it reaches maximum people. And we'll be back soon with another such informative session. So, till then, take care, everybody. Goodbye. Bye, ma'am.
Bye.